Adult awakening grants various magical professions.
A black-haired boy stands ready. He examines a simple green plant.
Monstrous entities disrupt the quiet peace.
He gazes at the vast sky. Dark energy pulses through tangled vines. A bird is ensnared by growth. Powerful spectral guardians surround the boy.
He enters a mysterious, stony passage.
History records a long demonic war and the rise of powerful professionals who built humanity's barriers.
These barriers protected humanity, leading to an age where everyone awakens to an inherited profession.
On the day of the awakening ceremony, Lin Feng arrives in the city and thanks the man who drove him there. Narratives explain the ranking of professions and how rare roles lead to elite academy enrollment. Lin Feng observes students praying to statues of heroes for luck in their coming tests.
He listens as others dream of becoming noble heroes, staying skeptical of their high hopes.
After asking a bald boy about the excitement, Lin Feng learns about vacant roles and calculates potential business profits. A brilliant flash of magical light signals the start of the official testing. Results are announced for several candidates, highlighting a rare S-rank success among the group. The bald boy expresses deep envy of the high magic power displayed by the successful candidate. Seeing an opportunity, Lin Feng offers the boy a tomato claimed to boost magical capabilities. He introduces himself as a plant doctor, showcasing a variety of produce that provides different physical buffs. A crowd gathers to debate the validity of his claims, though one person decides to trust the effect over skepticism. Lin Feng encourages a sale by offering a free trial to his first hesitant customer. A quick, enthusiastic crunch sounds as the boy bites into the fruit, immediately feeling his magic swell and his body lighten. A blond man recognizes the produce as high-tier academic quality and tries to purchase the entire stock at once. As the crowd clamors for the magical food, Lin Feng reflects on how his farmer skills provide genuine, powerful buffs. Later, Lin Feng sits quietly in front of a shop. The blond man pays him for seeds and supplies, while Lin Feng worries about his remaining funds for farm improvements. His friend wonders why he doesn't expand his production given the high demand for his special plants. Lin Feng dismisses the idea, noting that growing such unique spirit plants is far from easy. The blond man laments Lin Feng's low-ranked status before Lin Feng reminds him to head home to his family. Lin Feng reflects on being an N-rank farmer despite his parents' high-tier roles and his own childhood genius. He finds comfort in a peaceful life, preferring the farm over the dangers of the battlefield that claimed his father. Dedicated to his mother, he focuses on his duty to manage their land. A single, sudden drip of liquid lands on his skin. He looks up in confusion, questioning how it could rain on such a clear day. His thoughts are interrupted by a loud, panicked scream as a man plummets from above. The man crashes onto the stone floor, causing Lin Feng to fear a breach in the city's defensive walls. The injured man struggles to reach for his gear amidst the smoke and debris. A jagged purple energy slash silences the man as he tries to warn of a traitor transferring power to demons. Lin Feng watches in horror as a dark-haired villain emerges from a swirling void, mocking the fallen victim. The villain, He Zhao, boasts of his plan to gain an immortal body by betraying humanity while clutching a bleeding wound. As Lin Feng attempts to sneak away from the murder scene, He Zhao turns his gaze toward him. The villain commands him to stop before he can make his escape. He Zhao lifts Lin Feng off the ground by his throat, threatening to use his blood as a grim offering. Lin Feng struggles against the overwhelming pressure of the traitor's terrifying magical power. Desperate, he searches for any tool in his possession that might help him break the deadly grip. He summons a simple pickaxe and drives it into the villain's shoulder with a sharp, forceful strike. He Zhao is stunned by the pain, unable to believe that a lowly farmer could actually wound him. He Zhao activates a mysterious purple device. A violent blast of energy erupts. The traitor prepares his final strike. He recognizes a dangerous marking formation.
He Xiao declares his intent to possess the boy.
Dark energy lunges at the boy. Lin Feng screams in pure agony. The villain mocks his low status while the boy resolves to protect his body from the mental invasion.
He Xiao asserts his power is unreachable.
He laments his bad luck today. He decides to end them both. Lin Feng grabs the sharp tool. He stabs himself to prevent the possession, stunning the traitor with his desperate resolve. He thinks of his father's scolding. A golden light bursts from him. He Xiao is blinded and confused by the sudden eruption of power. The villain reels from the intensity. Radiant vines bind and crush him. A system notification confirms his new necromancer profession as the traitor is destroyed.
Lin Feng awakens, gasping for air.
He celebrates surviving the possession attempt. A purple mark glows on his hand. His status screen reveals a unique mutation.
Lin Feng examines his legendary attributes.
He reviews his powerful new undead skills. He notes his high stats remained.
He realizes his potential now exceeds the past limitations of the farmer class.
He contemplates his dangerous new summoning ability.
Vibrant green life magic fills his hand. Dark purple necrotic energy pulses alongside.
The two contrasting magic powers merge. He realizes he gained an additional legendary profession from the intruder who entered his body. He looks at the remains nearby. He realizes he must quickly master this power or risk his consciousness being devoured again. He quips about the magic's earthy color. A massive magic circle glows brightly. The bodies of the fallen vanish. He summons spectral guardians but quickly decides to flee before law enforcement arrives.
Lin Feng escapes, fearing his current situation could bring a fatal disaster if exposed.
He returns home to the farm. He notes that the necromancer's influence has made his crops become somewhat strange. Unnatural web-like vines spread rapidly.
A flower blooms with dark energy.
A mutated plant captures a bird. He fears people will mistake his warped crops for a demonic invasion.
Lin Feng begins burying the evidence. A seed bag pulses with darkness.
He realizes mastering this power could finally help him cultivate his father's conceptualized high-value crops. TV news confirms the traitor's rebellion and the death of Dean Yu Ye. He resolves to keep his undead power secret.
Lin Feng stands among his tools, calculating how to disguise his undead servants to avoid unwanted scrutiny during official inspections.
He decides to label them as simple farm assistants, confident that his role as a master of a spirit farm makes such a claim believable. A television broadcast announces the Academy's expansion and the lucrative rewards for students, catching Lin Feng's full attention. He resolves to enroll, realizing the Academy's resources are the perfect cover for his dangerous secret and the key to his survival. The scene shifts to the bustling registration plaza of the extraordinary academy, filled with hopeful applicants.
Lin Feng presents his credentials to a panel of stern officials, identifying himself as a Level 1 master of a spirit farm.
The official expresses deep skepticism, demanding that Lin Feng reveal his professional aura to prove he isn't a fraud. He sneers at Lin Feng's vibrant green magic, dismissing it as the useless power of a lowly farmer and ordering him to leave. A group of arrogant students bursts into laughter, mocking Lin Feng's audacity for even attempting to join their ranks. Undeterred, Lin Feng insists that his unique mutation grants him solid fundamentals worthy of a fair chance. The instructor loses his temper, calling for security to forcibly remove Lin Feng from the premises.
Lin Feng flashes a confident smile as he produces a document, subtly threatening to report the instructor's discriminatory behavior.
He places a call to the Oversight Bureau, loudly reporting the instructor's refusal to allow him to take the mandatory exam. The instructor is stunned, his face paling as he realizes the boy has actually followed through on his threat. He aggressively confronts Lin Feng, vowing that a mere farmer will never survive the rigors of the upcoming test. Nearby students whisper among themselves, noting the instructor's excessive reaction and his own history of professional failures. Fuming with rage, the official barks at the surrounding crowd to move along if they aren't ready to begin. The applicants are funneled toward the trial grounds, a dense forest where the actual examination will take place. Massive, twisted vines marked with glowing targets serve as the setting for the hunt. The instructor mocks Lin Feng one last time at the entrance, offering him a final chance to surrender. Lin Feng casually thanks him for the guidance and steps through the portal, while the man looks on, unimpressed. Once inside the exam area, Lin Feng expertly slides down a giant branch to find a strategic position. He takes a moment to observe the area, preparing to use a non-traditional method to secure his targets. He retrieves a bottle of specially crafted lure powder, planning to use his farming expertise to outmatch the combatants. He carefully spreads the powder across the wood, setting a trap that will draw the monsters directly to him. A small, pink-horned rabbit emerges from the brush, lured by the irresistible scent of the bait. A sudden explosion of necrotic energy fills the area as Lin Feng's hidden guardians prepare to strike. He commands his powerful undead servants to eliminate every creature drawn to the bait, while remaining completely hidden.
Lin Feng watches with a cold smile, urging his minions to harvest as many trophies as the area can provide.
The two spectral warriors dive into the hollow of a massive tree, moving with lethal precision. A purple-clad guardian unleashes a devastating energy slash, instantly felling several monsters in one motion. The blue-armored spirit traps a cluster of rabbits in glowing spheres of water, showcasing overwhelming magical control. Lin Feng marvels at the incredible efficiency of his level 1 servants, realizing how much he has underestimated his new power. A sharp, metallic ring of a bell signals the end of the allotted time for the examination. The instructor stands before the candidates, demanding they present the horns they managed to collect. He loudly berates the students who returned empty-handed, taking sadistic pleasure in their failure. He approaches Lin Feng with a condescending sneer, certain that the farmer has failed to collect even a single horn. Lin Feng activates his magic, and a massive, mountain-like pile of pink horns erupts from his storage ring. A sudden, loud gasp of pure shock rings out as the official and his assistant witness the impossible horde. Lin Feng offers a polite smile, announcing his total of 500 horns, and inviting the stunned official to count them. The instructor frantically accuses him of fraud until a distinguished older man in a monocle intervenes to stop the bullying. The distinguished director inspects the results and officially declares that Lin Feng has passed the preliminary trial. Lin Feng offers a respectful bow, thanking the director for his impartiality and intervention. The director leans in close, noting that Lin Feng's presence reminds him of someone from his past. Lin Feng's heart sinks as he fears his secret identity is about to be exposed. He stands tense and sweating, desperately trying to maintain his composure under the older man's intense gaze. The director asks point-blank about his relationship with a famous professor named Lin Xie. Lin Feng exhales in relief and confirms that the man in question is his father. Overjoyed to find his old friend's son, the director offers to bypass any difficulties to ensure Lin Feng's successful enrollment. A woman with pink hair and glasses interrupts the reunion, reminding the director that his favoritism is on public display. Arrogant students whisper about the director's blatant favoritism. The director promises a tour of the school after Lin Feng's enrollment. A smug smirk hides the older man's true intentions. Lin Feng suspects that the overly friendly director is actually unreliable. The pink-haired official directs the successful candidates to follow her. Academy investigators discuss the simultaneous disappearance of Dean Yue and He Shao.
Tuca suspects a mastermind is behind the theft of the inherited undead talent.
Tuca points out his deductions while standing before the investigation board.
An official dismisses Tuca's baseless theories and urges him to stop speculating.
Fuming with rage, Tuca slams his hands on the desk during the meeting.
Colleagues worry about the consequences of upsetting Tuca due to his high status.
The director orders the immediate execution of He Shao if he is discovered.
He vows to eliminate anyone who utilizes dangerous necromancer skills.
Applicants gather in the mission hall for the upcoming retest trial.
She announces a level 5 dungeon mission with a strict 3-hour limit.
Candidates fear that the high difficulty level is impossible for them to complete. She explains that team sizes for the trial cannot exceed 5 people. Applicants loudly announce their roles to find compatible team members for the hunt.
Lin Feng reviews his current status on a blue holographic screen.
Someone's steady, quiet steps approach him from behind in the hallway.
Lin Feng notices the sudden arrival of another applicant.
A level 7 mage introduces herself and proposes a partnership after being impressed by his preliminary test results, but Lin Feng realizes he cannot risk exposing his secret abilities.
He declines the offer to ensure his necromancer abilities remain a secret.
She politely wishes him smooth sailing as he attempts the dungeon alone.
Lin Feng walks away from the group to begin his solo trial.
The pink-haired woman warns him about soloing merely for high-value rewards.
He arrives at the massive, toothy entrance of the monster lair.
A guard asks Lin Feng why he is arriving without any teammates. Lin Feng confirms that he is entering the dungeon completely alone.
The staff members doubt his ability to survive such a gutsy, reckless move.
The eerie, cavernous interior of the dungeon is finally revealed.
He enters the lair and assesses the layout of the monster nest.
Lin Feng dismisses the weak monsters as posing no real threat to him.
A sudden, sharp hiss sounding as a massive swarm of monsters emerges.
He decides the swarm is perfect for testing his new summoning method.
Violent purple energy fills the area as he activates his undead summoning skill.
Spectral monster minions materialize from the energy to fight for him.
He commands his new undead servants to charge forward into battle.
He analyzes the aggressive yet low intelligence behavior of his monster form undead. He contemplates the non-combat efficiency of his servants for potential future chores.
His powerful legendary guardians appear alongside the spectral monster minions.
A sharp, quick strike fells several monsters in one fluid motion.
The purple guardian unleashes a devastating energy slash against the surrounding swarm.
The blue armored spirit focuses its magical power to control the battlefield.
A group of monsters is trapped within glowing liquid spheres of water.
He notes that human form undead have higher intelligence and more flexible combat styles, planning to leave future farm weeding and fertilizing to them.
A massive explosion of magic energy clears a path through the monster lair. Lin Feng stands confidently at the head of his growing spectral army. He reaches the final boss room in a mere half an hour. A sudden, loud roar, sounding as a shackled monster breaks its heavy chains. Lin Feng stands before the massive chained beast and summons his undead army, ordering He Shao to take the front, while Yu Ye applies curse debuffs and the other units target the monster's eyes and joints.
As the battle rages, Lin Feng sits comfortably on a mat to enjoy a snack, while system notifications announce a massive surge in his magic power recovery.
The spectral warriors launch a coordinated assault, with the dark armored spirit delivering a crushing blow to the shackled monster. A brilliant white energy explosion erupts. Lin Feng examines the rare magic bear gallbladder but dismisses it as useless compared to his own farm crops, since it only offers a minor increase to his constitution.
A blue system window confirms that he has received separate rewards for both his farmer and necromancer professions, leaving him to wonder if his dual status triggered the double payout.
He smirks as he realizes the immense potential for manipulating his future crop yields if every dungeon provides double the rewards. Applicants are stunned as Lin Feng exits the dungeon looking completely pristine, leading them to loudly speculate that he must have hidden at the entrance instead of actually fighting. He approaches the instructor's podium to turn in his completed mission scroll. A bright green checkmark confirms his success. The pink-haired instructor is visibly shocked that he cleared the trial alone, while Lin Feng offers a triumphant, closed-eye smile. She warns him that clearing a dungeon solo was an incredibly risky move that would have caused a major scandal for the school if he had died.
Lin Feng offers a polite acknowledgement.
She instructs him to rest before the final interview, which will be held in the academy's main hall. As he walks down the hallway, a group of muscular and intimidating candidates watch him with cold, suspicious glares.
The instructor watches him leave, hoping his recklessness doesn't lead to trouble during his time at the academy.
Lin Feng walks alone through a forest path. Sensing a presence, he looks over his shoulder as three men clumsily try to hide behind blankets, asking if they are following him.
The group steps out from hiding, confidently planning to use their superior numbers to rob him of his rare dungeon rewards while he is still drained from his solo run.
One of the men shouts for the farmer to stop, prompting Lin Feng to ask if they are addressing him.
They aggressively demand the bare gallbladder and skill scroll, mockingly threatening to show him what a real battle class can do.
Lin Feng questions why they chose to target him specifically when there are dozens of other candidates nearby.
The man sneers, explaining that the stamina-boosting gallbladder is far too rare and valuable to be wasted on a lowly farmer.
Lin Feng chuckles at their ignorance, noting that his own watermelons provide the same boost every summer, and produces the gallbladder to ask if that is the item they want.
The lead thug lunges for the loot, but a sudden, sharp boom sounding as a magical explosion detonates between them.
A massive burst of fire clears the path.
The pink-haired mage, Ailing, steps between them with her staff raised, demanding to know what they are trying to do.
She reminds the group that fighting is strictly prohibited at the academy and warns them that they risk being expelled.
The thug tells her to mind her own business and move aside.
Her eyes narrow with cold determination as she declares that their actions have made it her business.
She gives them a final warning to leave or face a formal report to the instructors. The leader mocks her threat, vowing to deal with her alongside the farmer if she continues to protect him. The men charge forward while Lin Feng watches from the side, curiously wondering if the level 7 mage can handle the group on her own. She grits her teeth at their dirty tactics. Ailing is stunned as Lin Feng suddenly sprints away into the forest behind her. She instinctively catches an object thrown her way, realizing it is the magic bear gallbladder.
Lin Feng waves a cheerful goodbye, thanking her for being a kind soul, and telling her the gallbladder is her gift.
Bewildered and annoyed, Ailing realizes he has stuck her with the loot and forced her into the fight, complaining that she wasn't looking for a reward. Later, in a private lounge, Lin Feng relaxes shirtless while sorting through his backpack, wondering why a certain skill scroll appears unusable for him.
A sudden realization strikes him.
He channels his dual magical signatures into the scroll, causing it to glow with vibrant green and purple light.
A system window describes the special cultivation skill, which allows him to use magic and materials to evolve or teach new skills to his undead summons.
He smiles confidently, realizing the scroll required the simultaneous use of both his professions to activate. Standing before his guardians, he decides to test the power of his new cultivation skill immediately. A surge of green energy fills the room. A system notification confirms that He Zhao has successfully reached level 8. Yu Ye is empowered by the magic, his level rising from 6 to 8. The magic horned bear experiences a significant power boost. reaching level 9. His remaining summons, the Lizard and Eagle spirits, both ascend to level 7. Lin Feng looks on with a satisfied smile, impressed by the efficiency of his new abilities.
Lin Feng stands confidently alongside his empowered, level-increased spectral guardians.
He notes a minor, lingering concern. He expresses frustration over his lack of new farmland to safely test unconventional crops. He heads back into the academy hallways. The pink-haired woman, Ailing, stops him to return the bear gallbladder. He insists she keep the item. She is stunned he would gift such a treasure. He scoffs at how people overvalue basic monster loot. She can't believe his nonchalance. The scene shifts deep into the woods. He tests his new cultivation skill on common plants, causing them to glow with dark magic. He initially thinks the attempt was a failure. A sudden, sharp crack sounding as the plants undergo a massive, violent transformation. He is amazed to see his crops gain the ability to walk. A tracker nearby follows a spirit detector's signal. He senses the lingering necromantic energy. They encounter one another on a forest path. The man stops him to question his profession. The man demands information about strange sightings. Lin Feng suggests the target is closer than he thinks. He points directly at the man. Insulted, the man boasts of his noble status. He prepares to attack the farmer. Tension mounts in the silent forest. A sudden, loud roar sounding as the man transforms into a beast-like warrior.
Lin Feng effortlessly dodges the clumsy strike.
He warns the man not to underestimate a farmer's skill. The beast roars in frustration. He lunges again with primal fury.
Lin Feng explains how his magic-corroded crops serve as potent narcotics.
A soft, quick poof sounding as the dust is inhaled. The warrior's strength instantly drains away. Lin Feng casually explains the potency of his toxic crops. He prepares to finish the confrontation. A heavy, dull thud sounding as he subdues the noble. He leaves the man tied to a tree in his underwear. An announcement calls students for the final interviews. He realizes he must return to the main hall. Crowds gather outside the auditorium. Students whisper insults and rumors as he passes. Others boast of their own superior power levels. Ailing tries to return his loot once more. He remains focused on the task ahead. He tells her the item is worthless to him. He munches on a stamina-boosting watermelon instead. The head instructor begins calling students forward. A student named Shi Yan introduces himself. He showcases his impressive armored ability. A high-level instructor offers to mentor him. The student accepts the offer with excitement. The gray-haired director calls for Lin Feng to step forward.
Lin Feng stands up from his seat among the candidates. Lin Feng is formally introduced as a level 8 spirit farm master.
The pink-haired instructor with glasses notes his impressive level for his age, but a blue-haired instructor dismisses him as a simple farmer. A muscular man argues the academy trains frontline fighters rather than cannon fodder, while another instructor points out his excellent performance in previous tests. The director suggests a combat ability assessment to resolve the disagreement among the staff. Both the pink-haired instructor and the dark-haired instructor agree to the assessment. The director asks if Lin Feng is willing to fight, reminding him that his ultimate goal is the front lines.
Lin Feng considers how to handle the combat test without exposing his necromantic powers.
He smiles confidently and agrees to the duel. A large area in the auditorium is temporarily cleared for the evaluation. The muscular instructor explains that the test is simple. Lin Feng must survive his attacks for 5 minutes. The instructor unleashes a massive golden energy aura. Other students are overwhelmed by the oppressive pressure of a level 40 fighter. Lin Feng stays grounded, seemingly unaffected by the instructor's intimidating presence. Impressed by his perseverance, the instructor tells Lin Feng to attack with all his power. Lin Feng acknowledges that the level 44 pressure is intense but manageable for now. He summons his undead servants while using nature magic to mask their dark aura.
A massive bear made of green leaves appears, hiding the fact that it is actually an undead summon.
The instructor is surprised to see such dense nature magic from a rare mutated profession.
He draws his curved blades, excited to begin the fight.
The instructor lunges forward to attack the plant-covered summon.
A sharp, quick schwa sounding as a blade slices through the air. A heavy, loud bang sounding as the instructor slams into the bear.
The instructor screams as he continues his aggressive assault. The director notes the summon's incredible loyalty as a sudden, deep roar sounding echoes through the hall.
Debris flies as the combatants clash with immense magical force.
An instructor off-screen asks the director if he is getting tired from watching the intense struggle.
Lin Feng remains calm, knowing his undead servants feel no pain and can be easily healed with magic.
The instructor decides to get serious and promises to compensate the boy if the summon is destroyed, while a note explains that normal summoners lose their contracts when a summon dies. He activates his Bloodthirst Berserk skill, surrounding himself in fiery energy. The leafy bear is completely shattered by the instructor's empowered strike. The instructor stands smugly in the center of his golden aura. He mockingly tells Lin Feng to go ahead and cry about his lost summon.
Lin Feng remains entirely expressionless despite the instructor's taunting.
The instructor is confused by the boy's lack of emotional reaction.
Suddenly, massive green vines burst from the ground around Lin Feng.
The instructor is shocked as the vines wrap tightly around his body. A sudden, sharp crack, sounding as the energy bindings take hold. The director steps in and orders them to stop the evaluation immediately. He declares Lin Feng qualified for the academy, but notes that all nature-type instructors are currently away at the front lines. Lin Feng asks about the status of his cultivation resources. The director assures him that his resources will be provided according to the standard academy regulations. He adds that as an outstanding student, Lin Feng is entitled to make one special request. Lin Feng is delighted by the prospect of freedom and ample resources. He surprises the director by asking for a plot of land as his reward. The director is stunned that the boy wants land instead of high-grade gear or rare items. Lin Feng explains that a spirit farm master cannot truly be a master without land to cultivate. The director grants him an unused training wasteland and invites him to return if he has other requests. The director calls for the next candidate as Lin Feng prepares to leave. The scene shifts to the hallway outside the principal's office. The principal finds his profession interesting. The pink-haired woman tells the principal she has an urgent report, and he asks what it is. She hands over a confidential file. She reports that their investigation team member Tuka was brutally killed by a necromancer and suspects one has slipped into the academy since the body was found near the auditorium.
Lin Feng locates the training grounds. He activates his massive land rights.
Lin Feng complains that the one-year lease is stingy, but realizes it makes sense since most students head to the front lines after a year anyway.
Lin Feng celebrates having 100 mu of land for a year, feeling he has finally earned the title of Spirit Farm Master.
He summons his powerful undead guardians. Lin Feng points forward and declares that it is time to get to work. Hei Shao slams into the dirt with a sudden, sharp crack, sounding as he begins clearing the field. Yu Ye lands in the water with a sudden, loud splash, sounding as he begins his task. The horned bear drags a heavy plow across the soil with a rhythmic schwa, schwa sounding. Lin Feng relaxes with a slice of watermelon and reflects on how magic changes life, before noting the land has been reclaimed. Lin Feng is surprised and asks the guardians why they are being so much more proactive than he expected. Yu Ye lets out a low chuckle. Lin Feng sighs to Yue Ye and admits that expecting the undead to have their own consciousness was asking a bit much.
Lin Feng heads toward his greenhouse.
Yu Ye stands as silent sentinel.
A mysterious smile crosses his face. Lin Feng inspects the greenhouse exterior.
He monitors his rows of plants. System alerts describe his immature crops. Lin Feng laughs as he explains that while others grind for strength, he improves himself through crops, balanced nutrition, and a solid foundation.
Lin Feng notes it is a shame only his crops have these effects, lamenting that if his yield were bigger, the demons would be nothing but weak chickens.
He realizes he must plant enough normal crops outside as cover so the special stuff in the greenhouse isn't noticed, then tells himself to get back to work.
A pile of potatoes awaits planting. Lin Feng holds his shovel and instructs his guardians to watch him so they can learn exactly how to dig. He is pleased to see that since getting his undead lizard helpers, the speed of planting vegetables has shot up. Lin Feng shouts in sudden shock. Lin Feng asks what is happening as he spots an undead lizard eating a potato. A system window describes lizard growth. Lin Feng notes that all the undead lizards are from the dungeon, with the only difference being that this one just ate a potato. Lin Feng wonders if the original crop effects also work on the undead, and in the following days he begins systematic experiments to record the results.
A mysterious intruder watches the farm. The blue-haired intruder notes the changes since he last spied and mocks the paper-thin wall, boasting that one slash with his knife will finish it. Spotting only one person, the intruder wonders if it is a trap, but finds the situation interesting as he watches Lin Feng in a hammock. The intruder jumps down, only for a hidden plant to trigger a sudden, sharp beep-beep sounding.
He panics as the potato-like plant inflates and turns red with a frantic, high-pitched beep-beep sounding. A thunderous, ground-shaking kaboom sounding echoes as the trap plant detonates.
The blue-haired intruder sneers and asks if Lin Feng really thinks this level of defense can handle him. He kicks the plants away with a wet, sudden splurt and high-pitched beep-beep sounding as they trigger. He continues his assault with a gross, squelching splurt and rapid beep-beep sounding as more traps go off. The intruder grits his teeth and curses in frustration as the traps continue to explode around him. A blinding, massive explosion engulfs him. A towering, glowing green dryad emerges from the debris with a soft, rustling schwa sounding. The dryad's eyes glow with energy. Her gaze burns with magical power. The wounded intruder curses his luck and admits he only came here twice to try and gain the Grand Duke's trust. Gritting his teeth, the intruder vows that once he chops the spirit to pieces, he will see if it can still explode. The blue-haired man slashes through the foliage. He notices an undead aura, recalling his holy mission to locate the Necromancer He Shao for his clan. The intruder identifies this area as the Necromancer's hideout. He wonders if the target has betrayed them. He mocks He Shao's shameful pursuit of immortality. He leaps away to continue his search. Lin Feng plans to finish his chores after fertilizing. He reacts with sudden, intense shock. He drops his hoe in disbelief. The tool strikes the parched ground. Lin Feng screams in despair over his shattered greenhouse. A massive creature descends from the sky. Lin Feng looks up in confusion. Law enforcement officers on a black dragon arrive to question him. The wild-haired officer Haru and his partner report that their magic detector sensed demon energy in this wasteland. A system window confirms the land lease status. The officer with glasses confirms the rental, but maintains his caution. Haru identifies his team and waves through the barrier. Lin Feng questions the reason for their arrival. The officer asks him to lower the barrier for inspection. Lin Feng questions how magic aura appeared so quickly. Haru grows impatient with the farmer for stalling. He cites Tuka's recent death as reason for suspicion. Haru formally accuses the boy of being a spy. Lin Feng sweats under the officer's scrutiny. Outside the barrier, Haru orders the spy to surrender.
The partner admits that the circumstances make Lin Feng look suspicious.
He asks the student to cooperate with their investigation.
Lin Feng considers a way to make them leave.
He acts pitiful, claiming he only wants a quiet life.
The officer with glasses begins feeling sympathetic.
Haru dismisses the act and punches the boy.
Lin Feng realizes his boosted physique prevented any injury.
He decides he must feign an injury.
He collapses, though Haru remains suspicious of his resilience.
Lin Feng accuses them of trying to force confessions.
The officer with glasses notes Lin Feng's nature magic, clearing him.
He apologizes and promises to report the misunderstanding.
Lin Feng praises him as an upright official. The law enforcement team departs on their dragon. The officers look back as they fly away. Haru grits his teeth in frustration.
The dragon vanishes into the clear sky.
Lin Feng realizes he needs strength to protect himself.
A paper crane delivers a summons for a test. He laments the loss of his peaceful life.
The black-haired Vela and the headmaster watch him curiously.
The headmaster asks if the nature archmage is tempted. Vela clears him of suspicion due to his magic. They prepare to watch the upcoming academy battles.
On the academy grounds, students gather in confusion over the announcement of a new mandatory test.
The group discusses their surprise, as they expected formal classes to begin immediately after interviews.
A student behind Lin Feng boasts about having secret information, but playfully refuses to reveal it. The pink-haired instructor commands silence and reports that demon attacks have pushed a major fortress to the brink of collapse. Students protest the sudden news, arguing they lack the cultivation and training necessary for the front lines.
The instructor explains that if the fortress falls, the city will follow, making this an unavoidable conscription.
A pink-haired girl holds a small boy's hand while looking toward the stage with a worried expression.
Lin Feng stands calmly with his backpack, appearing unfazed by the talk of war.
Blushing as she watches the boy, the girl wonders if he will be drafted while the instructor initiates combat testing. The scene shifts to the instructor's uniform as she prepares to oversee the live assessments. Walking through the crowd, Lin Feng hopes his farmer profession will prevent him from being sent into battle.
On the arena stage, a black-haired girl in dark attire challenges the spirit farm master and mocks his skill.
The challenger prepares a fire spell, vowing to incinerate the boy in front of the audience. Lin Feng effortlessly dodges a massive fire blast, insulting the girl by comparing her magic to a weak stove. Enraged by his taunts, the girl begins a long, dramatic incantation to summon a flame spirit. Lin Feng watches with a bored, blank expression as the challenger performs an elaborate ritual dance. Disrupting
A scoreboard confirms that Lin Feng has already achieved a series of consecutive victories against various opponents.
The boy considers throwing his next few matches to avoid drawing any more attention to himself. A black-haired woman in a fur-trimmed dress approaches, telling Lin Feng his talent is wasted on simple farming. Lin Feng looks up with mild curiosity as she mentions aiming for a much higher stage. The woman describes the Sun Wheel Academy, an advanced school reachable only by the most elite students. She emphasizes the legendary weapons and powerful mounts available at the prestigious academy to tempt him. Visualizing a dragon mount, Lin Feng politely declines the offer and states he has no need for such things. The woman's eyes widen in shock as she realizes the boy is completely uninterested in grand rewards.
Lin Feng admits his only real goal is to acquire a larger piece of land for peaceful farming.
Close-up on the woman's face as she tries to understand his ultimate motivation beyond his fields. The boy declares his ambition to provide land for everyone who wants to farm, which she finds incredibly ambitious. A man in a suit approaches and asks if the boy's current wasteland development is truly not enough. Laughing at the suggestion, Lin Feng insists that for a farmer, more land is always the best outcome.
He waves a cheerful farewell as he heads back toward the training field for his next fight.
The suited man and the black-haired woman watch his departure, noting how straightforward he is. The man asks if she has decided to take the boy as her personal student.
She corrects him, shockingly revealing that she wants the boy to be her own teacher instead.
Back in the arena, the pink-haired girl prepares for her match against Lin Feng with a serious weapon in hand. Her eyes burn with intense focus as she vows to give this fight everything she has. Lin Feng smiles kindly at her, secretly deciding to surrender and let her win the match. Feeling insulted by his casual attitude, the girl launches a fierce, high-speed attack at him. Lin Feng reacts with surprise when she immediately enters a powerful second phase at the start of the duel.
A sudden burst of green vines erupts from discarded ground, entangling the girl's legs and stopping her charge.
A sudden, sharp slice sounding as the girl uses her blade to hack through the magical nature energy. The suited man is stunned by the purity of the boy's magic, noting it is impossible for his level. The black-haired woman confirms that even level 80 masters lack such pure magic and finalizes her decision to follow him. The man watches the intense battle with a skeptical, furrowed brow. Chibi versions of the two adults bicker over her strange desire to become a student's disciple.
A recruitment banner appears, asking for new members to join the scanlation team.
The arena is engulfed in a whirlwind of energy as the two combatants clash in a blur of movement.
The girl drives her spear into the ground, unleashing a shockwave to force her opponent back.
Lin Feng prepares to yield, but the suited man yells that his land plot will be seized if he holds back. Hearing the threat to his farm, the boy's eyes ignite with a terrifying, cold blue surge of power. The girl freezes in shock as she senses the boy's aura transform into something truly serious. Lin Feng channels a swirl of vibrant green energy between his hands. Across the arena, a pink-haired student unleashes a massive, roaring torrent of flames. With a defiant roar, Lin Feng shatters the incoming fireball with a single, concentrated strike. He charges forward through the embers, declaring that it is time for his opponent to face his serious punch. His glowing green fist makes impact with a sudden, heavy thud sounding as he strikes. The pink-haired girl is wide-eyed with shock, marveling at the incredible power behind the blow. Flashing a confident smirk, Lin Feng politely thanks her for the victory.
Spectators are stunned by the farmer's hidden strength while the girl gracefully accepts her loss, and the announcer declares Lin Feng the winner.
Lin Feng remains humble, claiming he simply hits hard despite the visible disbelief of those around him. He is privately relieved to have protected his land rights, while the headmaster celebrates the boy's impressive performance. Lin Feng thanks the headmaster for the opportunity, and the official encourages him to continue working hard and growing.
Despite his polite demeanor, Lin Feng internally grumbles about the headmaster's earlier threats regarding his farm.
As he prepares to leave, the green-haired Vela watches him from the distance with a fascinated expression. She catches up to him, earnestly pleading for him to guide her in her own cultivation. Lin Feng is baffled that a battle-class student would seek help from a farmer, but she insists his nature magic is masterful.
He tries to redirect her to the missing nature instructors, but she begs for the chance to observe his work in the fields.
Vela bows deeply in desperation, causing Lin Feng to panic about the secrets hidden in his greenhouse. He tries to brush it off, insisting he is just physically tough and lacks any real fighting expertise to teach. The headmaster suddenly interjects, pressuring Lin Feng to agree for his own personal reasons. He leans in with a sudden, soft rustle, sounding to whisper a secret that leaves Lin Feng completely stunned. After hearing the headmaster's words, Lin Feng quickly changes his mind and declares the matter settled. Vela is overcome with joy, promising that her presence will not be a burden to him. She asks to begin immediately, and a blushing Lin Feng directs her toward the city's west side.
At the wasteland, Lin Feng acknowledges Vela's serious attitude but remains determined to keep her away from his special crops. Watching him work, Vela notes to herself that Lin Feng is becoming more and more intriguing.
An hour passes as the green-haired woman diligently inspects the outer field. She stares at a small piece of soil, unable to believe what she has discovered. Lin Feng checks on her, and she asks in disbelief if he really grew these crops in such ordinary soil.
He casually confirms he used plain dirt because he simply couldn't afford expensive magic fertilizers.
Vela is amazed by his raw talent and decides she has found a way to truly help him.
She informs him of a school policy that allows students to trade dungeon materials for specific warehouse items.
Lin Feng is thrilled by the news as she explains that a certain boss drop can be traded for valuable resources.
She suggests he could obtain Earth's Pulse, but warns that the level 10 dungeon usually requires a full team.
She adds that the policy is nearly defunct, making it an urgent opportunity for him to seize. Grinning with newfound determination, Lin Feng decides to head to the dungeon immediately. Vela watches him run off, reflecting on how only a pure heart could nurture such powerful nature magic. The scene shifts to the imposing entrance of the shadowed Deepwood dungeon. Elite students mock the level 8 farmer's arrival, but Lin Feng ignores them and applies for solo entry. He insists on the academy rules while the instructor is shocked to spot Vela standing right behind the boy. Vela silences the instructor with a sharp, commanding gesture and a quiet shh sounding. The official reluctantly allows him through, warning Lin Feng to retreat the moment he feels outmatched. The onlookers continue to sneer, labeling the newcomer as mere cannon fodder compared to their elite status. They express their hope that he perishes inside as Lin Feng steps into the swirling blue portal. Deep within the woods, a pack of massive wolves lunges at him with a sudden, fierce snarl. Yu Yi leaps into the fray, unleashing a powerful energy wave to drive back the beasts. He Zhao moves like a blur, tearing through the pack with lethal, glowing strikes. After converting a small kobold into an undead minion, Lin Feng comes face to face with the towering level 12 chieftain boss. Lin Feng lets out a bored yawn, ordering his guardians to finish the unimpressive fight quickly. His powerful undead servants collide with the giant boss in a flurry of violet and blue magic. The boss falls, yielding a level up and a rare fang, though Lin Feng's level is still too low to claim the chieftain's soul. Lin Feng reflects on his inability to summon higher-level monsters, but notes he has achieved his goal. A glowing, cracked fang floats amidst swirling, dark energy. Lin Feng decides it is time to return and trade the fang for fertilizer. He steps through a swirling blue portal to exit the dungeon. The scene shifts to the imposing entrance of the level 10 shadowed Deepwood dungeon.
Vela argues with an official about the rules for reward exchange and the current resource crisis.
The official in the suit confirms they still have nature-type soil fertilizers in stock. A system message announces Lin Feng's record-breaking solo clear as nearby students react with outrage. The angry students demand an investigation, claiming the level 8 farmer must have cheated. Vela is stunned by his one-go clear, while a crowd gathers around the portal. Lin Feng wonders who he has offended now as a group of students blocks his path. He stares blankly at the hostile crowd surrounding him. Lin Feng tries to exchange his resources while a student insists his rewards be confiscated. The teacher maintains that the academy has no right to take back dungeon rewards. The headband-wearing student steps forward and offers a resource wager. Another student explains that a resource wager is a high-stakes dungeon speedrun competition.
Lin Feng dismisses the challenge as boring and of no benefit to him.
The challenger desperately adds a design blueprint for the Lamp of Nature to the bet. Vela urgently whispers to Lin Feng that he must obtain the Lamp of Nature blueprint. She explains that the rare magical artifact can significantly shorten crop growth cycles without side effects. The headband-wearing student mocks Lin Feng and pressures him for an answer. A private chat reveals the challenger's plan to stall Lin Feng by wagering their family's foundation.
Lin Feng decides he can hide his necromancy from a single supervisor to win the lamp.
Flashing a smirk, Lin Feng formally accepts the challenge. The challenger laughs, confident that a supervising teacher will finally expose the boy's secrets. The scene shifts back to the dark interior of the Level 10 shadowed Deepwood dungeon.
Lin Feng and the official stand ready to begin the supervised clear. Lin Feng offers a confident smirk, preparing to show his true strength.
He begins summoning his tenants with a massive swirl of vibrant green energy. A towering, hooded green spirit materializes behind the boy. The teacher is shocked by the incredible speed and quality of the summoning technique. He watches intently to see exactly how the farmer managed his solo clear.
Lin Feng points forward and orders a full assault on his enemies.
A pack of massive, red-eyed wolves lunges forward with a sudden, fierce roar sounding. The green spirit's eyes glow as it prepares a devastating magical attack. Multiple beams of green energy strike the wolves with a sudden, heavy boom sounding. The hooded entity looms in the background as the magical assault intensifies.
Violent bursts of green magic erupt throughout the woods as the spirit attacks.
Massive explosions of light and debris tear through the dungeon's terrain. The teacher is horrified as the entire kobold patrol is wiped out in less than a minute. He marvels at the terrifying power and wonders if it stems from a special profession. Lin Feng casually informs the teacher that he is moving on to the boss room. A dark, swirling vortex opens in the ground with a sudden, sharp schwa sounding.
An agile, masked boss leaps from the shadows with twin blades.
A massive, armored wolf boss charges forward with a sudden, fierce roar.
Lin Feng stands calmly as the towering beast prepares to strike.
He commands his summon, Big Bear, to advance with its shield raised to block the assault. The green spirit unleashes a concentrated beam of magic. The wolf boss is caught in the brilliant green energy of the spirit's attack. The spirit continues its relentless magical barrage against the staggered boss. A sudden, loud boom, sounding as a massive green energy wolf erupts into existence. A series of quick thud sounds as water splashes violently across the training area. The instructor's jaw drops in shock as he notes the boy's incredible combat potential must be reported.
Lin Feng stands composed while a colossal green spirit beast swirls with energy behind him.
The giant horned creature looms menacingly over the young farmer. The instructor watches in stunned silence from beneath the towering legs of the summon. Lin Feng asks if he has proven himself enough, and the teacher confirms his success without hesitation. The two men walk together across the desolate, cracked landscape of the dungeon. Lin Feng decides to linger in the dungeon, prompting the teacher to head out first and warn him of the reset timer. Standing over the fallen guardian, Lin Feng prepares to test his newfound level with a forbidden command. Violent purple arcs of necromantic energy surge as he channels power into the beast's corpse. With a cold, focused gaze, the boy commands the creature to rise. A single glowing purple eye ignites within the shadows of the beast's skull. A massive, spectral, undead wolf manifests and stands obediently behind its new master. Lin Feng steps through the glowing blue exit portal and returns to the academy.
Students watch him return, whispering about his status as a beast and wondering if he holds any grudges. The instructor tells the green-haired girl that Lin Feng has officially proven himself after the opposition fled.
He presents Lin Feng with a scroll and a small bag as rightful rewards and compensation. The black-haired boy glances back with a cool, detached expression. The green-haired girl notes how the supervisor's testimony caused their rivals to drop everything and run. Lin Feng smiles happily as he holds his new haul of high-quality fertilizer.
While a chibi Lin Feng celebrates, the instructor hands a memory stone of the battle to the student.
In his private room, a shirtless Haru punches a heavy bag with Lin Feng's face on it, fuming over his humiliation. He realizes standard force won't work and resolves to use a completely different method to stop the boy.
Haru narrows his eyes, noting that Lin Feng relies entirely on nature magic and summons to show off.
He hands an envelope to a student, ordering it be delivered to his uncle, the Earl, at the front lines. His plan involves recalling specialized nature-type instructors back to the academy immediately. The subordinate asks if he truly intends to use those instructors to suppress Lin Feng. Haru confirms, explaining that those traditional mages will surely humble the boy's arrogance.
The scene shifts to the private room of a high-ranking student named Vela.
Vela watches the dungeon footage, amazed that the boy's understanding of nature power has become pure instinct. Wearing a white robe, she decides to write to the senior mages to return before their awards are lost. A small brown bird takes flight, carrying the sealed letter in its beak. Vela watches the bird fly off, confident that her intervention will change the academy's hierarchy. Over the following days, Lin Feng practically begins living inside the dungeon to grind levels. He is seen relentlessly farming the dark woods, clearing entire areas with ease. A system chart displays his series of record-breaking clear times, each run faster than the last. Students gossip about his speed as Lin Feng exchanges his massive pile of monster parts for fertilizer.
The instructor suggests that Lin Feng has enough credits to apply for promotion to the elite upper academy.
He explains that Sun Wheel Academy offers far superior rewards and resources for a genius like him. Lin Feng ponders the idea of joining the elite school. He thanks the teacher for the advice and decides to move forward with the application.
At the mission hall, a blue-haired receptionist asks for his credentials as he applies for the promotion.
The system confirms Lin Feng has accumulated an incredible balance of over 30,000 credits. Surprised by the high amount, the receptionist hands him the official promotion mission scroll. A pink-haired student explains that the promotion will grant him access to rare gold and platinum tier supplies. Lin Feng walks through the academy grounds, planning to pick up a key item before his mission. A senior student hands him a silver-tier lamp of nature, warning him to keep it away from death energy. Lin Feng smiles and thanks the senior for providing the powerful artifact. A small chibi version of the boy begins scouting the area carefully, looking left and right for his objective. Lin Feng reflects on the rumor that the lamp of nature cannot be tainted by death energy. Despite the warning, he feels a sudden, intuitive urge to attempt the experiment. He channels his dark spectral power into the floating green crystal. He is surprised to see the object transform directly from a nature type to an undead type item. A bright, jagged flash of green light erupts from the thick foliage. Lin Feng gathers several of the glowing crystals from the ground. He stands in the clearing, looking slightly confused by the result. He notes that since the item is spiritually connected, he can use nature magic to change it back and avoid suspicion.
At his farm outside the city, a shirtless Lin Feng holds the lamp of nature high into the air.
He looks out over his greenhouse with a sense of accomplishment.
Giant, healthy vegetables grow with supernatural speed under the crystal's light.
He reflects on the terrifying power of the lamp, noting how rapidly it forces crops to mature on its first use. Lin Feng puts on his shirt, deciding he must acquire more artifacts like this by completing his academy promotion mission. He runs across the paved path toward his next destination. He notices a strange blue-tinted presence lingering near the farm. A tall blue spectral warrior stands ready with the magic crystal in hand. The scene shifts to the imposing pink-walled structure of the abandoned watchtower. Arriving at the tower, Lin Feng confirms it is the correct mission location. He decides to remain cautious given the low visibility of the search mission. He spots footprints on the ground, realizing someone else was there very recently. He looks around the misty area, wondering who else would have a reason to be there.
Lin Feng kneels to get a closer look at the tracks in the dirt.
Two men in suits reach the tower, eager to steal the mission item before Lin Feng arrives to fail his task.
Inside, the intruders plan to burn the mission objective with fire magic to ensure it is destroyed. Smirking, the man in the suit prepares to discard the item to sabotage the boy's progress. Lin Feng suddenly appears and snatches the book out of the air.
He smirks at the thieves, asking if he should be thanking them for finding it for him.
The shocked men panic, yelling at each other as their plan falls apart.
The lead intruder roars for his partner to get the item back at any cost. They charge toward Lin Feng with desperate, lunging motions.
Lin Feng stands ready as green magical energy glows around his clenched fists.
He unleashes a barrage of sharp green energy blades that slice through the air.
Magical vines whip around with lethal precision to bind the attackers.
Lin Feng stands before the two men, who are now hanging upside down in vines, and demands an explanation.
He leans in with a dark, confident smirk, pressuring them to answer him. The scene shifts back to the quiet farm as dusk settles over the land. A gloved hand clenches into a tight, trembling fist of rage. Lin Feng realizes that if this interference continues, his secrets will eventually be exposed. He stares ahead with a look of sudden, sharp realization. A blue spectral summon wearing a construction hat salutes its master.
Several small and large undead minions work together to maintain the crops on the farm.
Lin Feng is pleasantly surprised by the prospect of a fully automatic farming system. In his room, the muscular Haru listens as a subordinate reports that their team disappeared at the watchtower. Smoking a cigarette, the shirtless Haru coldly concludes that his men are most likely dead. He punches the wall in a fit of sudden, explosive anger. Haru screams that his subordinates are useless for failing such a simple task. He glares with intense hatred, focusing his wrath entirely on Lin Feng. Haru orders his men to contact Shadow Erosion and pay any price to have Lin Feng killed for his actions. An official hands over a folded garment, officially welcoming Lin Feng as a member of Sunwheel Academy. The official presents Lin Feng with his new school uniform and student badge. Lin Feng excitedly plans to buy more planting supplies once he advances. The scene shifts to the imposing entrance of the Level 10 Shadow Deepwood dungeon. The official in the suit refuses Lin Feng's request for a solo entry into the dungeon.
Lin Feng is confused by the sudden change in entry permissions.
The official explains that academy regulations now prohibit upper students from entering low-level dungeons. Lin Feng is devastated by the loss of his most efficient grinding spot.
The official is relieved to see him go, fearing the boy would have emptied their warehouse.
Lin Feng ponders his next move now that his farming route is gone.
A sudden, sharp tap sounding as a student approaches the black-haired boy.
The student, Ron, introduces himself while casually smoking a cigarette.
He offers Lin Feng a spot in his gathering squad, though Lin Feng finds the timing suspicious. Lin Feng considers the offer as a way to earn credits and explore new areas. He decides to join the group to see what the upper academy dungeons are like.
Ron leads the way, noting the rest of the team is waiting at the entrance.
He introduces the other members, the cold-faced Ube and the scarred, muscular Carter. Ron outlines the mission to collect 10 moonlight grass plants while avoiding dark elf patrols.
The squad steps through a glowing blue portal into the forest dungeon.
They arrive deep within the Shadowwood to begin their search.
Ron successfully gathers the first mission objective, surprised by the lack of resistance.
A sudden, high-pitched buzz sounding as a dark elf patrol squad surrounds the group. A dark elf lets out a sudden, piercing screech as it prepares to attack. Vibrant beams of magical energy erupt with a sudden, heavy boom sounding. Ron deflects an attack and orders Lin Feng to use nature magic as a distraction.
Lin Feng agrees and prepares to unleash his skills.
A sudden, quick rustle sounding as green vines erupt from the ground to bind the elves.
Carter uses a massive vine to smash through the enemy ranks.
A sudden, loud crack sounding as a fissure splits the ground beneath the group.
Ube focuses her energy, signalizing the start of their coordinated attack. Carter acknowledges the signal with a confident smirk.
He slams a heavy cylinder into the ground, channeling massive amounts of blue magic. The ground collapses, sending the elves and Lin Feng falling into a deep pit. Ron mockingly apologizes for the accident while watching Lin Feng hang from the ledge.
Lin Feng stares up coldly, asking if they have any intention of rescuing him. Ron reveals his true colors, laughing at the boy's supposed overconfidence.
He dismisses the threat of discovery, claiming the boy's death is now a certainty.
Ron explains they will use the student badge to frame a monster for the boy's demise.
Lin Feng asks if there are truly no other witnesses or ways to track what happened.
Ron assures him of their professional treachery as Lin Feng finally accepts the situation.
A sudden, soft whoosh sounding as Lin Feng lets go and drops into the darkness.
Ron laughs, assuming the boy has simply given up on life.
His amusement turns to shock as he notices a strange light rising from the pit.
A sudden rhythmic hum sounding as Lin Feng floats back up, surrounded by dark energy.
Lin Feng stares down the squad, asking if they are prepared to face his legion.
3 towering, armored undead summons materialize behind the boy.
Ron is paralyzed with fear, realizing the farmer is actually a powerful necromancer. Lin Feng calmly asks if the group has any final words before they perish.
Ron begs for mercy, desperately trying to blame a man named Haru for the ambush. Lin Feng kneels before the trapped man and asks for clarification on who Tuka is.
Ron trembles in terror, his confidence completely shattered by the boy's display of power.
Dismissing their pleas, Lin Feng orders his undead minions to bury the traitors.
A sudden, heavy boom sounding as a massive blue energy explosion erupts, forcing Lin Feng to cover his ears. Sprawled on the ground, the defeated Ron curses Lin Feng and wishes a terrible death upon him.
Lin Feng looms over the fallen man, mockingly suggesting that Ron's good days are only just beginning.
Dark spectral tendrils swirl around the kneeling traitor as Lin Feng commands Ron to rise. Ron and his teammates are reborn as armored, dark-skinned undead servants who kneel before their new master.
Lin Feng observes his new thralls, wondering if converting humanoid creatures results in higher intelligence than standard summons.
After collecting the discarded student badges, Lin Feng decides to report the deaths and prepares to leave the dungeon. Reaching out to the glowing blue portal, Lin Feng is startled to find he cannot exit the area. He pauses to analyze the situation, stroking his chin as he realizes the dungeon has been locked. A sudden, sharp swish sounding as jagged black energy blades strike the ground around the boy. A sudden, heavy thud sounding as the massive hoof of a dark steed slams into the dirt.
Lin Feng stares in shock as a towering, armored dark elf knight on horseback manifests before him.
A brief interlude marks a transition in the narrative flow. The mounted knight charges forward with a massive lance, crackling with arcs of purple lightning.
Lin Feng remains composed, noting that the presence of this new enemy feels familiar.
Standing with his undead squad, Lin Feng confidently claims the Guardian won't be that difficult to handle.
With a determined look, Lin Feng gives his summons the signal to attack.
Undead Ron lunges forward, trailing a massive arc of purple energy as he intercepts the knight. The two warriors clash in a violent display of magic and steel. A sudden, quick schwa sounding as the undead thrall unleashes a series of rapid, energy-infused slashes. The mounted guardian is knocked back by the sheer force of the purple magical shockwave. Magical purple chains erupt from the earth to bind the horse and its rider in place. The dark steed rears up as it is struck by a powerful physical blow. From the canopy, the female undead thrall takes aim with a bow made of dark energy. A volley of purple energy arrows rains down, piercing the pinned knight repeatedly. The knight is overwhelmed as the coordinated assault of the undead squad breaks his defenses. Leisurely eating a banana, Lin Feng notes the undead have better instincts now, but still feel incomplete. A sudden, loud crack, sounding as a final, massive purple impact crater forms on the battlefield. The wounded knight demands to know how a mere human can wield the forbidden power of death. Lin Feng smiles cheerfully, telling the guardian to give up and bury himself already. A sudden, wet squelch sounding as a massive black spectral claw pierces through the knight's torso. The guardian collapses to his knees as a final burst of energy consumes the area. A system window confirms 50% dungeon progress, prompting Lin Feng to move toward the core area. Entering the heart of the Shadowwood, Lin Feng passes under trees laden with giant, glowing purple mushrooms. He runs deeper into the fungal forest, sensing the final boss is nearby.
Lin Feng stops abruptly, his eyes widening as he spots a strange structure ahead.
He arrives at a massive ritual circle surrounded by thick purple mist and ancient trees.
A tall, elegant boss in a black gown asks why a young human has trespassed on sacred ground.
Lin Feng notes the Guardian's Savis is level 18 and asks if she can speak human before they fight.
Savis conjures purple flames as glowing pink spores begin to fill the air around Lin Feng. A system notification explains the spore domain effect, which heals undead units while damaging all others.
Lin Feng smirks, realizing this environment allows his summons to remain active without consuming his own mana.
Delighted by the favorable conditions, Lin Feng summons his full legion and orders them to crush the boss. Outside the dungeon, the muscular Heru notes with satisfaction that the dungeon has been successfully locked. He looks at an image of the boss, gloating that it is impossible for Lin Feng to win, even with buffs. Heru laughs to himself, relishing the thought of Lin Feng being trapped and killed by the Guardian. Back in the ritual area, a sudden, explosive boom sounding occurs as a massive clash of powers begins. Through the rising smoke, the glowing silhouette of a powerful undead warrior stands victoriously over the boss.
Finishing his snack, Lin Feng looks down at the defeated Savis as his towering summon holds her still.
The guardian Savis lies broken on the ground, staring up with a look of utter defeat. Savis asks the undead He Zhao why he chose to betray them. The towering, armored undead stands guard behind the black-haired boy. Glaring with glowing green eyes, Savis warns the boy that the one whose nest he destroyed will surely find him. The defeated guardian collapses while vowing that her master will hunt him down. A sudden, loud crash, sounding as the ritual site crumbles into rubble. A massive pillar of light erupts from the center of the ruins. A system notification confirms Shadowwood has been cleared in record time with an A rank. Lin Feng notes his growing strength while casually snacking on a banana. A giant, pulsating purple egg sits atop a stone pedestal. Lin Feng analyzes the dormant embryo of a primordial demon, noting its mythic status and intense death aura. He ponders the meaning behind the black egg and the incubation nest mentioned by the boss. Reaching out, Lin Feng feels a surge of dark energy from the mysterious embryo. A glowing blue portal opens, signaling that an exit is now available. Lin Feng prepares to leave the ruins behind. Standing over the fallen boss, Lin Feng considers the high cost of converting a level 18 creature into an undead thrall. With a confident smile, he commands the fallen guardian to rise. The shadow of the elf boss begins to stir and take on a new, armored form. Reborn in black plate, the undead Savis kneels and proclaims herself the executor of death.
Lin Feng is stunned to find his new servant is capable of speech.
He questions her ability to talk as she repeats her grim title.
The boy watches as the undead knight continues her repetitive, robotic proclamation. Annoyed by the chatter, Lin Feng orders his new servant to stop talking.
Stepping through the exit portal, Lin Feng returns to the academy grounds. He walks calmly away from the dungeon entrance. Haru reacts with pure, bug-eyed disbelief at the boy's survival. The gathered students wonder how any person could possibly clear the dungeon alone. The instructor approaches, asking about the whereabouts of Ron, Carter, and Ube. Feigning grief, Lin Feng explains they were ambushed by dark elves and he barely escaped the boss room.
The instructor identifies the magic residue on the recovered badges as dark elf magic.
Haru clenches his fist in silent, shaking fury and suspicion. The instructor asks if anything else out of the ordinary occurred inside the woods. Lin Feng mentions the strange regrets of the past debuff he encountered during the crawl. While the instructor ponders potential enemies, Haru remains convinced that soloing the boss is an impossible feat. The crowd of students watches Lin Feng with a mix of awe and deep-seated doubt.
Sweat beads on Haru's face as the weight of the boy's survival sinks in.
Lin Feng questions the mention of enemies with a cool, detached gaze. He claims ignorance as a new transfer student, while the instructor promises a thorough investigation. Lin Feng bows politely, but Haru remains visibly tense and agitated behind him. Terror grips the spiky-haired student as he senses the boy might know the truth. A dark shadow of the undead guardian looms behind Lin Feng's cold eyes. Haunted by visions of the dark executor, Haru flees the scene in a blind panic. Back at his farm, a shirtless Lin Feng notices the primordial embryo becoming increasingly agitated. He is shocked to find the egg reacts to both his undead and nature magic simultaneously.
Lin Feng recalls that these two magic types are fundamentally incapable of coexisting.
He wonders how the embryo can bridge the gap between these two opposing powers. Walking in deep thought, he considers the creature's obvious demonic origins. Lin Feng collects the artifact, deciding it is time for answers. He dresses formally, preparing for an important meeting. A sudden, sharp rap sounding as Lin Feng knocks on the door of the principal's office. Entering the room, Lin Feng presents the mysterious purple embryo to the surprised principal. The brown-haired principal stares intensely at the purple object, demanding to know where the boy found the embryo. Lin Feng explains that the item dropped after he defeated the final boss of the Shadowwood dungeon. The principal leans over the dusk, carefully inspecting the pulsating energy of the mysterious find. Lin Feng admits that he initially mistook the embryo for a standard monster drop before realizing its true nature. The principal confirms it is the embryo of a primordial demon, stating there is no mistaking its identity. He explains how the demon race bypassed their detection to cultivate these entities directly within dungeons. Lin Feng repeats the name in confusion, questioning the significance of a primordial demon. The principal clarifies that these demons prey on humans to gain tremendous power, and some can even cross through space. A floating screen identifies a small, wide-mouthed green creature as a standard Type 1 demon. A hulking, horned bull monster armed with a spiked mace represents a more powerful Type 4 demon. The principal describes how the Blood Lair Lord and others use dungeon mechanics to secretly plant seeds or embryos. He further explains that the demons utilize the battles, deaths, and magic fluctuations of adventurers as nourishment to hatch. The man warns that once the embryo matures, it breaks through the dungeon to manifest in reality. He notes this one is entering its growth phase and would hatch in 6 months, creating unthinkable chaos within the academy. He wonders why it appeared, as these are usually deeply hidden unless a similar aura is present. A drop of sweat rolls down the boy's face as the gravity of the principal's words sinks in. The principal ends his teasing and promises not to harm the boy as long as he remains loyal to the academy and humanity, and Lin Feng solemnly agrees. A sudden, quick pot sounding as the principal happily praises the boy for being a good student. He presents a territory banner as an investment, explaining it creates a 500-meter barrier and allows for terrain modification. Lin Feng is elated, noting that the dense law-based power of the banner is exactly what his farm needs. The principal tells him to rest before the freshman exchange meeting and mentions an instructor's interesting research on plant hybridization.
Walking away, Lin Feng ponders the concepts of hybridization and breeding mentioned by the principal.
He considers the potential of fully hybridizing his servants instead of just crudely combining undead and plants. The scene shifts to the exterior of a large, glass-roofed greenhouse on the boy's farm.
Standing in the center of the structure, Lin Feng notices the concentration of nature magic rising thanks to the banner.
He looks down at his prone undead servants, frustrated by how difficult it is to figure out the hybridization process. His attention is caught by a sudden change occurring within the dark form of the undead Savis. In a darkened room, the spiky-haired Haru sits on the floor, consumed by his own dark thoughts. He rages at his subordinates, calling them useless for failing to handle a student who was just promoted. Haru worries that the Academy's investigation will uncover clues that he was responsible for Tuka's death. A series of heavy footsteps sounding as Haru descends into a secret ritual chamber filled with flames. He kneels before a colossal, dark armor-clad statue of a demon lord surrounded by ceremonial torches. A sudden, sharp slice sounding as Haru cuts his palm with a knife to offer a blood sacrifice. Drip, drip, the blood falls as the shadow entity Guladosa asks why he has been disturbed. Haru seeks guidance on eliminating Lin Feng for disrupting plans, and Guladosa promises to send someone to punish the anomaly. A sudden, loud blast sounding as Guladosa punishes the man for his arrogance after Haru tries to urge him to hurry. Haru screams in pain as he is hurled backward by a violent surge of red demonic energy. A massive explosion erupts in the chamber, completely engulfing the man in a blinding crimson light. Haru is sent flying across the rocky floor of the ritual room by the force of the blast. Bleeding and with his clothes torn to shreds, Haru blames Lin Feng for everything that has happened to him.
A small, purple-haired girl in a dark dress manifests in the shadows behind the broken man.
Dressed in a formal suit at the academy meeting, Lin Feng finds the principal's nonsense incredibly boring. He wishes he could spend his time researching hybridization on his farm instead of sitting through the event. He takes a bite of the provided food and admits to himself that the taste isn't bad. A blonde student in a gray shirt approaches the table and calls out to Lin Feng. The student asks for advice on solo clearing the dungeon, but Lin Feng feigns grief over the seniors who died there to avoid questioning. The blonde student apologizes for bringing up the painful memory and promises to come back another time.
Walking away, the blonde student thinks that Lin Feng doesn't look impressive enough to be Guladosa's target.
Lin Feng watches the student's departure with a cold, suspicious gaze. Bandaged and in bed, Haru wonders why he still feels uneasy despite notifying all of his powerful allies.
A sinister purple shadow looms over the man, whispering that his feeling of unease is exactly right.
Jolting awake in bed, the bandaged Haru stares in horror as Lin Feng and his spectral undead executor suddenly manifest in the room. Lin Feng taunts the paralyzed man by holding up a single finger before his hand ignites with a volatile surge of green magic. A sudden, heavy crack sounding as Lin Feng delivers a magically charged punch, declaring his patience for the man has finally reached its end.